Good morning. My name is Victoria Cattano, and I've been in this church my entire life. I was born and raised here. I am one of the few church babies of this church, and I am both honored and terrified to be before you today. So here goes. Everyone always tells you that your flaws make you special or define who you are, but I don't believe that, because there is no such thing as a flaw, imperfection, mistake, or coincidence. Everyone is different, right? No two people are the same. But as humans, we constantly compare ourselves to each other. Did he get a better grade? Is she wearing a nicer dress? Do they have a nicer car or home? As humans, we judge each other. We don't always mean to, but the second we see someone, we already have an idea about them in our heads. But if we can agree that we're all different, then why do we feel the need to compare ourselves? Personally, this is one of my biggest fears. I'm afraid of judgment. Now, being a performer and constantly on the stage, you might think that I'd get used to it. But no, I'm constantly worried about what other people are thinking about me. So when you put a girl who's paranoid about what people are thinking about her in a school full of other teenagers, it gets pretty nerve-wracking. Do they think I'm weird or crazy or that I dress sloppy? Then you have to worry about the teachers. Do they think I'm smart or dumb? Are they judging me because of what I wear, who I talk to, what my grades are? I know it's irrational because you have no control of what other people think of you. And why do we care so much? Do we care more when we're surrounded by our loved ones? But it's still scary to me. So a lot of the time, I just sit there and don't talk to anyone. But that doesn't always work either, because then what if they're thinking, oh, she thinks she's better than us? It's a vicious cycle of panic, but I don't like being in constant panic. There are times when the thought of even asking someone a question, or even just talking to them, is so scary I could cry. I feel like this is my biggest problem, or flaw, if you will. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I would guess that everybody worries about what other people think about them now and then. Who knows, maybe it is just me and I am crazy. But I'm sure everyone is insecure at times because of some quality or trait that makes them different. But if we look at life from a science point of view, every human on the planet shares 99.9% the same DNA. It doesn't matter if you're from America, Africa, Germany, Antarctica, or even Australia. We all share 99.9% the same DNA. If you think about it, we all have the same structure and our bodies function the same way. So I guess it makes sense. But DNA is the genetic code that makes us us. So why is there such a huge fuss over such a small 0.1%? Why are we so fixated on the 0.1% that's different? I think we need to celebrate this 0.1% and not panic and try to fix or alternate it. I believe that there are only two perfect things in this world, God and the life that Jesus lived on earth. That being said, God doesn't make mistakes. And while we are made in his image, we are not him. We are different, and we need to learn that different doesn't mean wrong. We need to accept people right where they are, just the way they are. This is one of the major beliefs of the Appalachia Service Project. As many of you know, this is our church's 30th year going on ASP. But for anyone else, the Appalachian Service Project is a mission-based operation. It was formed 47 years ago by the Methodist Reverend Glenn Tex Evans. They work to make homes warmer, safer, and drier. The Appalachian Mountain region has some of the worst poverty rates in the US. This will be my 4th year going, and I can't wait. I have met some of the best people I know from this trip. They are extremely happy and grateful for what they have. Also, their sense of loyalty to faith, community, and family is astounding. This past year, I worked for a family who was in the process of adopting 2 twin 2-year-olds, Sadie and Gabe, adorable children. They're an elderly couple and already have many kids of their own out of the house. And they were already taking care of their grandson, Carson. But when someone came to them asking for help, they opened their arms to these 2 beautiful children. And the year before that, I worked for a family that when Superstorm Sandy hit, they came up to New Jersey to rebuild the damage here. They left their house that was falling apart to come and help us. I look up to those families so much. They have broken down every wall built up by social norms and learned to accept freely. They fully embrace their beautiful 0.1%. This year at school, we had an assembly that I really enjoyed. It was a one-man show, and throughout the assembly, the actor embodied different roles of commonly bullied or criticized people. For example, he was himself, and then he was a gay black man, a young child with learning disabilities, a suicidal person, a transgender teenager, and finally, a boy in a wheelchair who was paralyzed and had speech issues. He walked us through a day in each of their lives, the rude questions and jokes, and what happened when they got home. It was truly shocking. It forced you to put yourself in their shoes. I was appalled that anyone had ever felt so broken, but at the same time, I understood because I had seen it happen. The harmless teasing, teachers call it, but they don't see their students that go home and cry themselves to sleep every night. They don't see them starving themselves or even cutting themselves. The actor told us that it wasn't our fault, that as humans, we judge and alienate what's different. And he believed that it started with one segment of a children's TV show that I'm sure we've all seen, and one little song. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is just not the same. It taught us that different was wrong and bad, so now we're all grown up, and when something is different, it doesn't belong. I've been scattered and battered, my hopes to the wind unscattered. Snow has frizzed me, sun has baked me. Looks like between 'em, they've done tried make me. Stop laughing, stop loving, stop living. But I don't care, I'm still here. He left us with that poem. It's by Langston Hughes, who was a poet, novelist, and playwright. He was also a leading voice in the Harlem Resistance in the 1920s. No matter how broken, wrong, or different we feel, we're still here. And we are here to do the good deeds that Jesus prepared ahead of us. The truth is, everyone is different, and that's good. You and I were not made to be perfect, and I challenge you to let go of that unattainable goal. But on the flip side, that means we can't expect others to be perfect. I know I'm still working on that, and just because we are not perfect does not mean that we are flawed or mistakes. You are the way God intended you to be. There is no such thing as normal. Everything happens for a reason, and different is just different. Amen.